Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're diving into a seriously breathtaking mystery that's hiding right beneath the rolling green forests. We're talking about the ancient secrets of Kentucky. When we think about untouched frontiers, we almost always look up at the stars, right? But there's actually an entirely different world, a world completely untouched by sunlight, sitting right below our feet and preserving secrets from literally millennia ago.
Okay, let's dive into this. 400. That represents over 400 miles of mapped passages inside Mammoth Cave, which officially makes it the world's longest known cave system. Explorers have been venturing into this massive labyrinth for over 200 years. Just to put that distance into perspective for you, that is roughly the driving distance from Washington, D.C. all the way to Boston, but entirely underground. Crazy, right?
Which naturally leads us to ask, what exactly is hiding in all that darkness? Because as fascinating as that record-breaking distance is, the true mystery of Mammoth Cave isn't just its immense, mind-boggling size. It's the incredible, perfectly preserved history and the truly bizarre biology locked within its pitch-black void.
Let's look at Section 1, the ancient time capsule, preserving the past.
It's really fascinating how our relationship with this underground world has evolved across some very distinct eras. We're talking thousands of years ago when Native American communities became the very first to venture into these depths. Then, fast forward a bit to the early 1800s, and we see the arrival of saltpeter miners using the cave for heavy industry. And finally, today, we have modern scientists down there with advanced technology. So we've gone from ancient exploration to raw industrial survival, right up to high-tech scientific discovery. Deep inside the cave, archaeologists have discovered some absolutely astonishing artifacts left behind by those very first explorers. We're talking about ancient footprints that are still perfectly visible in the dirt today. There are woven sandals dropped by travelers, early mining tools, and even remarkably preserved human remains. And remember, these early explorers navigated this massive, terrifying maze thousands of years before we had flashlights. Just imagine facing that suffocating darkness using absolutely nothing but a burning reed torch to light your way.
So you might be wondering, how did all of this survive so perfectly intact? Well, the cave's constant, cool, dry air essentially acts as a natural time capsule. This totally unique, unchanging underground atmosphere protected these incredibly fragile traces of human life for millennia. It literally preserved them better than almost anywhere else on Earth, essentially turning these dark corridors into a perfectly sealed museum vault.
Moving on to Section 2, Labor and Lost Lives, the War of 1812. So the crucial point here is that they were mining saltpeter. This mineral was an absolutely key ingredient used to make gunpowder during the War of 1812, and Mammoth Cave happened to have massive amounts of it. Hundreds of workers spent long, grueling days underground. They were carrying incredibly heavy loads through these narrow, completely unlit tunnels. It was a place of exhausting, relentless hard labor, transforming this beautiful natural wonder into a literal engine of wartime industry. The reality of these different eras really couldn't be more different. Imagine trying to navigate a deadly, twisting maze with just flickering lanterns or burning reed torches, where a single gust of wind could literally extinguish your only lifeline. Now contrast that sheer terror with today's modern scientists who map the cave using laser scanners, 3D mapping, and advanced geology. The difference in safety is just staggering, yet the cave itself remains just as unforgiving.
Because back before those modern maps existed, the danger of silence was a very real, everyday threat. A single wrong turn literally meant being lost in total, absolute darkness. Throughout its long history, visitors and explorers have tragically become hopelessly trapped inside this silent, endless maze. And it's exactly these grim, harrowing stories of lost souls that helped create the cave's eerie, haunting reputation over the last 2 centuries.
All right, Section 3, Life in Total Darkness, a Hidden Ecosystem. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when life is pushed to its absolute limits, in what scientists can only describe as an alien ecosystem. Over thousands of years, these unusual creatures evolved just to thrive here. We have fish that are completely blind, crayfish that have adapted to be entirely translucent, and rare insects that exist quite literally nowhere else on the planet. These fragile, bizarre creatures somehow managed to conquer one of Earth's harshest environments. The official biological term for them is cave-adaptive species. These are tiny, highly specialized creatures surviving in complete darkness using senses that scientists are actually still actively trying to figure out today. Think about how incredible that is.
It challenges our entire understanding of biology, proving to us that eyes and sunlight aren't actually required for an ecosystem to flourish, as long as the adaptations are specialized enough.
And finally, Section 4, the endless unmapped maze, the frontier beneath our feet.
Even with all of our incredible 3D technology today, the cave is still actively keeping its secrets. Every new laser-scanned expedition reveals a much more complex geological puzzle. Explorers are constantly uncovering these massive hidden chambers that just open out of nowhere. They find underground rivers that completely disappear into the darkness, and shockingly deep pits that just seem endless. New sections are continuing to be mapped right now, today. The cave just keeps going.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Researchers strongly believe that future discoveries will significantly increase its already record-breaking length of 400 miles. We spend so much time looking up at space as the ultimate frontier, for sure. But this serves as a massive reminder of the deep, unexplored earthly mysteries sitting right beneath our very feet. Now, what's really interesting about this is how modern explorers sum it up. They often note, the real dark secret is the immense scale of what humans still do not know. The true ancient secrets of Kentucky aren't about legendary monsters or some lost, hidden civilization. It's simply the sheer, staggering vastness of undiscovered earthly territory. It's a very humbling realization of our own limits, even in the modern age.
Which leaves us staring into the metaphorical abyss of the cave with one final, profound question. If the world's largest cave system has already revealed so much to us, ancient human footprints, brutal industrial history, and these wild, blind, translucent creatures, what is still waiting in the darkness beyond the passages no